Miscellaneous minds, never explaining the minds. Devilish grin for my alias, aliens who respond. Peddling sin, thinking maybe when you get old you realize I'm not gonna fold or demise. I don't smoke crack, motherfucker, I sell it.
What is going on, everybody? This is the Miscellaneous Mind Podcast. I'm your co-host, Boom Al Gato, the cat that hands you your accusation back. And to my left over here is the main man, assistant narrator, the man that makes the fat stacks. Together we form that dynamic duo that won't die. Down the ideas, brother, and spicier content that your girls only fans. What is going on, everybody? Before we get into tonight's topic, please make sure to like, comment, hate, subscribe, DM us about the bullshit, and with that, let's get right into it. So, as I'm sure a lot of you already know, Russell Brand has had a number of people come out and accuse him of a lot of sexual misdeeds, a lot of issues with his past, a lot of things that are not too YouTube friendly, so we can't say the exact phrasing, but we're going to go ahead and talk about what's going on with that. So, here's my one and only beef with him. Investigate. I have no problem with investigating the man. Do it. Get out there. Check to see what he's doing. Check to see if what he was doing was not right. Don't get me wrong. He admitted that he was a sexual deviant back in the day. He admitted that he was very promiscuous. He admitted that there's a lot of things that he was doing that probably weren't the greatest for his mental health and anybody else's that he was in contact with. The problem that I have with it is the timing. So Russell Brand has very recently been going on a little bit of a right-wing tirade, a little bit of a conspiracy theorist tidal wave of things that he's saying online, which, look, listen, I don't agree with them. I think a lot of the things that he's saying are fucking stupid. But listen, it's the man's right to say this stuff. The reason I have the beef with the timing is it seems now that the man is leaning right, now all of a sudden these accusations are coming out. Because, again, he admitted for a very long time he was a sexual deviant. He was out there doing a lot of things with a lot of women that he shouldn't have been doing. And at that moment in time, he was a lot more left-leaning. Now, again, before anybody jumps off and starts talking a whole bunch of stuff like, oh, you guys are just defending him because he's right. I'm not right either. I'm not to the right of any of these. I'm not conservative. I'm not any of these things. I lean more liberal. But the one thing that we are, if anything, on this channel is impartial, and we call out the bullshit. If my man was truly a sexual deviant, if my man was truly out here harassing women, sexually pressuring them, borderline, if not, grape, why now? Why not for the years and the years and the years that he was doing these things? Why not at that time go after the man? Why now? Again, listen, I don't agree with any of the more new right-wing conspiracy theories that this man has been posting out there. A lot of these super cringe, super fringe ideas. I don't agree with a lot of them. I think they're fucking stupid. And I think, if I'm being honest, to a certain degree, I think he might have a few mental issues. But the problem that I have is with why now? Why not when this man was a leftist? Why not why this man was out here doing all these things? Why wait until now he's apparently doing some of that, leaning on the right shit? Why at this moment in time? That's the beef that I have with it. Again, I'm not, if anything, impartial. Before I knew, all these accusations, I had nothing against him, man. I wasn't too big of a fan of a lot of his movies. There was one here or there that I liked. But other than that, I didn't really follow the guy all that much. But again, it seems that now that he's leaning more right, he has beef with it. And listen, in order to be really impartial, you have to be able to call out the bullshit on your side just as much as you call it on the other side. And that's the beef that I have with it. It seems that now that this man is doing all this right-wing stuff, now he's getting hit with these allegations. And listen, I know a lot of the statistics and a lot of things that some women will never report for years. But again, he was doing that for years. He was on the left for years. He was making all these or committing all these acts for years. That's why I think the timing is very suspect in my eyes. Again, I'm not saying don't investigate the man. I'm not saying don't go after him and check to see if the claims should do it. I'm all for it. If the man did it, throw him behind bars. I'm all for it. The timing is what I have a beef with. What do you think about that, my man?
Yeah, in doing a little bit of light research on this, I was doing some investigation. I think there was one thing that actually surfaced. So he was co-stars with, I believe it was Kristen Bell for the movie Get Him to the Greek. She made some comments about him that were basically kind of leaning, like she said, he was hitting on me, getting kind of aggressive with it. I basically told him to stop. And she said it hit a point where I told him, hey, look, if you don't stop this shit, I'm going to have to get a little bit physical. And he completely backed off on it. But all that to say, even at the end of the day, she still said, even with all that happening, I still think he's a nice guy about that. I know you're going to comment something about that.
Yeah, I think you actually meant forgetting Sarah Marshall because Sarah Bell wasn't on Get Him to the Greek. Get Him to the Greek was a movie he was in, but I'm pretty sure.
You're right. I forgot. It was a connection to that movie. Anyways, but yeah, she made a mention like, look, even he did try to advance on me a little bit. Once I told him, hey, back the fuck off, he backed off. And she said, look, even at the end of the day, when I told him to back off, I still think he's a sweet guy underneath all that. So to have somebody as aggressive as that, by her account, to have somebody as aggressive as that, as soon as she told him to back off, she still thought, okay, he's still a good guy underneath. I know there's that he's probably just lonely. He's feeling a little bit isolated. She said, I can understand that to an extent. Now, that sounds bad, and I'll acknowledge that. I was like, that's one column for, okay, he might have done it. But again, that's all speculation at this point. And the part that I also have a problem with is not just the timing, but also the people that are coming out in his defense, that people were saying, okay, he's guilty by association. There was 3 people, I forgot who the third one was, but 2 people primarily that I can remember that were basically coming out in defense of him and saying, look, you're going to have to investigate those claims. 2 very infamous people, Elon Musk and Andrew Tate. And I could be wrong, but the third person could be Alex Jones, but I don't remember. All I know is that Elon Musk and Andrew Tate, and those are pretty heavily infamous people, especially with Andrew Tate his cases ongoing, whatever. People were saying, okay, if those are the people that's defending you, you're already guilty, which I don't think I like that rationale. Just because you're guilty by association. Believe it or not, people you don't like can make good points. You can agree with assholes a couple of times. I agree with Elon Musk on our last video of that one crackhead that was making those claims about Obama. It was like, look, you're gonna have to provide verification on that and proof on that claim. Otherwise, I don't believe you. Where the hell is this claim going from? I was surprised that I believe with Elon on that. Why is it? Because he's such an infamous character. And again, this is coming from the biggest Elon hater on this channel and probably more so over on the internet. Huge hater. His claim of, okay, why don't we investigate? I was like, why can't we investigate? Why do we have to take it at face value? I know there was 2 people, again, and I don't like to bring it up too often because I feel like we're beating a dead horse. But the fact that we were taking Amber Heard's words at face value, and it turns out she was the actual abuser herself. The fact that we were taking the wife of Jonathan Majors, the actor who played Kang in the MCU or whatever. The fact that we're taking them at their word, and it turns out they were actually the ones abusing them in that case, and the fact that they just had their careers drop at the drop of a hat like that, all this in jeopardy. And again, Russell Brand doesn't have anything in jeopardy right now. Again, he's what does he have really? He has a YouTube channel, and again, he, as far as I know, isn't starring in any movies.
He was doing a couple of things behind the scenes.
All that to say, is it so bad that you want to investigate? I'm not saying he's done it. We don't know for sure if he's done it, but that's the point. We don't know for sure. All we have is a bunch of he said, she said, and as far as we know, nothing's come of it. There might be some things come of it. Again, we don't know. We're not going to strike in the positive. Oh yeah, he's completely innocent. I was like, no, I don't for a fact know that. The issue is the notion of, okay, we need to investigate before we actually start jumping the gun. All of a sudden, that's a controversial take. I was like, no, we need to take it as our word. I was like, do we though? Again, mob rule is a scary thing. To have all these people's careers end so quickly without even listening to their side of the story is a scary thought. To have your entire life just end like that because somebody said that you did something that you can't prove otherwise, that we're just taking them at their word. And I was like, oh, they're guilty. Throw them behind the bars. It's a scary thought. There's a reason that we don't have absolute mob rule, because somebody at the drop of a hat can say some things. If you ever watch the play The Crucible, that exact thing can happen. There's a reason why we don't have mob rule, or we shouldn't have mob rule anymore. The whole Red Scare was pretty much a mob rule accusation that happened in the 60s. People were claiming each other, you're a communist, you're a communist, you're a communist. that doesn't do anything beyond, okay, we're pointing fingers and people are getting hurt over this. It's disgusting. That's what I have to say about that.
Listen, you actually brought up something that I did want to talk about as well with the Jonathan Majors thing. Listen, I think that it's become the cancel culture, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not a fan of the cancel culture. It's become too much of a prevalent thing because it's not even well, let's see if he's guilty. It's somebody said it, so it must be true. Again, Jonathan Majors, perfect fucking example. He was not. It was found out that his wife was actually the one abusing him. But here's the thing. When you uncork that genie, when you pop that bottle, it became a scenario where the man lost everything. The man, he was, again, part of the MCU and all that kind of stuff. But he lost a lot of those roles. He lost a lot of his acting gigs because nobody investigated it. It was first, a woman said it, so it must be absolutely true. Same concept. And you know what, ladies? I know a lot of you tuned in to the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial. That should be proof to y'all on why you should take a fucking moment, let the investigation play out, and then jump on accusations if it's found out that it's true. The fact that Amber Heard basically cut off a piece of Johnny Fingers of Johnny Depp's finger is insane to me because there's still women defending her. There's still women saying, oh, well, Johnny Depp still did something, but she was the primary abuser. She's the one that started everything. It's insane to me that we're really gonna, again, and again, I'm not defending Russell Brand. Again, other than one or two movies, I don't follow the man. I'm not, super into his career. I don't know a whole lot about him other than forgetting Sarah Marshall, get him to the Greek, and maybe like one or two other things. But I'm not going to defend the man. All I'm saying is investigate him. The reason I'm bothered by it is because, again, he's already lost a bunch of gigs. He's already lost a bunch of roles. He was doing some show in England. I don't remember what it is. I don't follow all that stuff. His YouTube channel got demonetized, all this kind of stuff. The man's livelihood is being taken away. And here's the thing. If it comes out later on that these people are lying or they're embellishing the story, everyone's going to be like, okay, whoops. That's it. And then everyone just moves on. Just like they moved on with Jonathan Majors. Just like they moved on from the whole, Johnny Depp thing. Like, it's like these women can make these accusations and it's just, that's it. They make the accusation. It's out there. People automatically believe it. And it's said and done. I'm not for, hey, let's just automatically believe it. I'm saying investigate it. If someone comes out with an accusation, absolutely investigate that shit. But then let the investigation play out. And then after the evidence is put out there, then is when we should start, judging the scenario. Not before, because again, you brought up the perfect example. Jonathan Majors lost a whole bunch. Johnny Depp. A lot of you ladies love Johnny Depp. And according to the statistics, there's now 30% of you ladies that watch the channel. You guys love Johnny Depp. He lost a whole bunch of roles. What was the main one? Pirates of the Caribbean. How many people wanted to see him in another one? And it's never going to happen because now he's like, look, you guys told me, get the hell out. On a false accusation, why am I going to want to do it now? Because people jump to the conclusions. We shouldn't automatically believe that it's factually true that this happens. Believe it enough to investigate it. Get out there, investigate, so on and so forth. Let law enforcement do their thing. And then after they're done, if they bring a case, cool. But don't start cutting these people's lifelines, these people's livelihoods, so on and so forth, just simply based on somebody saying something happened. Look, listen, I don't like to be this guy, but there's a very, very, very famous case in American history where a woman accused a young black boy of whistling at her, and because of that, the young black boy was beaten to death. Emmett Till. I'm sure a lot of you have heard the name Emmett Till. If you haven't, go look up the case. And here's the thing. Now we know it was false. The little boy did nothing. This little boy lost his life because a woman made an allegation and everybody, all those white men, believed the allegation. We need to stop this stuff, especially because they have no recourse. Let Jonathan Majors, what is he supposed to do? It actually turned out that it was his wife abusing him. What is he supposed to do? He already lost his roles. What is he supposed to come out there and be like, haha, I told you so? There's no sort of retribution. And that leads me to my final point on this particular topic. If a woman makes these sort of allegations and it comes out that it's false, that it's not true, she should face jail time that he would have gone if it was true. Because here's the thing. If we're going to send people to jail, if we're going to send people to God knows how long, these individuals would get if they were, to go to prison, or God forbid, death, and then it turns out, hey, it wasn't true, we need to make sure that the people that made the false allegations get punished in some sort of way, because it's ridiculous that these men can lose absolutely everything, including their lives, and there's absolutely no sort of retribution for the shit that they went through. Listen, I know that the woman that accused Emmett Till, I know she's passed away now. I understand nothing we can do, but for a long time there, we knew she was that she had lied, and she was still alive. There needed to be some sort of punishment. It's bullshit that there wasn't. This little boy lost his life. Jonathan Majors lost his career. Johnny Depp lost God knows how much money, God knows how many roles. He lost the respect of a lot of people. We need to stop this BS, and we need to start calling it out, and we need to start asking for retribution when it's truly, when it's confirmed that it's a false allegation. Not before, again, let the investigation play out. That's the only thing we're asking for. We're not saying don't investigate. Investigate. If a woman makes an allegation of a man sexually abusing her, investigate. Investigate. I am all for it. I am here for it. But don't take everything away from that individual until it's confirmed that he did that shit.
That's the sad part that I thought about this. I was like, I realized that like it was a thought when you were talking about the whole, okay, investigate, then we'll see what happens or whatever. Retractions make the news, but let's be honest, retractions in the news don't really get a lot of hits. Nope. If you see anything, I was like, oh, X got accused of X. Guess what? Top of the page, it's on every single newspaper headline. It's like everybody sees it. As soon as that came, I was like, oh, by the way, we made an oopsie. By the way, they did not do this. It was a mistake on our end. It was an editing error. We apologize for it. And it was like, guess what? Nobody's gonna care.
It's like a small line at the bottom of the screen while they're talking about some other story. That way, it's like, oh, it was a mistake. We apologize, and that's about it.
You've seen every single newspaper basically headline. I was like, oh, Jonathan Majors, major villain of MCU, the overarching villain, got accused of blah blah blah. How many times have you actually seen the headline? I was like, oh, by the way, he was acquitted. I actually had to look it up. I was like, okay, is that case still ongoing? And I was like, oh shit, they found that he actually do it. The same thing for the Johnny Depp thing. Like the trial itself was headline. The fact that they didn't find anything on him, like hardly anybody talked about it. Again, people still believe that he actually did it because the fact that it didn't make the rounds, that it turns out it was actually Amber Heard, didn't really make the rounds as much as the first time they came around. Retractions don't really make the news that often. And the sad part about retractions not making the rounds is that the stink still permeates around them. How many times has we'll use a silly example. We'll use a silly one to lighten the mood a little bit. What do you think of when you hear Richard Gere and the Gerbil? Rumor for like the longest time. People still to this day believe that Lady Gaga is transsexual, even though she, to her credit, she didn't really want to disprove that. She was like, yo, who gives a shit? The people that want to listen. That's a really good example. For a long time, rumor when she came out, I think it was around the Born This Way album came out, there were rumors that Lady Gaga, for whatever reason, was born a man and transitioned. And for a long time, she didn't really want to fight that because, look, even if I did tell you, the people that believe that are going to want to believe that anyway. What's the point of me fighting that if it's not really going to make the news, or if people are going to want to believe I was born a man anyway? They're going to want to put it in their heads like, oh, I was like, it doesn't matter. Of course she's going to say no because she has albums to sell. She has an agenda to push. It doesn't matter what she says. I still believe that she was born a man. And that's the problem. People are going to want to believe what they want to believe despite the fact that the facts say otherwise. The same way that this crackhead believed that Obama really did suck his dick under an underpass for rocks. Because he truly believes that, and the Republicans want to believe that. I want to believe that. It sounds like it's true. Even though, again, we've had facts that debate the otherwise, and hell, even prove the otherwise as yeah, but I still kind of believe it might be true. I still kind of believe that Jonathan Majors did it. Johnny Depp isn't that great of a person, let's be honest. He's a bit of an alcoholic. He's probably going to forget some things. Russell Brand, he's been a little cuckoo. Like, he's a bit of a COVID truther. I wouldn't really put it past him to do these kind of things to these women. And that's the problem. It goes back to the whole, there's no nuance anymore to thinking and politics. What the people that we don't agree with, we intrinsically think that they are problematic people by nature. Because the person doesn't think that I want to think they have to be a bad person. That's the problem. That's the problem that we're facing right now. He is on an alt-right ideology. He's got to have some pretty negative things to think about women. That's why I kind of think he might have done this with women. Again, this might be the mentality that a lot of people have towards, oh, okay, he's had Elon Musk defending him. He's had Andrew Tate defending him. They're both pretty alt-right. I kind of want to believe that he did it. We have such a stink of every other person having a wrong think that we intrinsically think them as the enemy. Again, I have to repeat this. This isn't in defense of the man. If he did it, he did it. What we're asking is proof. We want to investigate. However, the notion that we want to see this man investigated is controversial in and of itself because that makes it think we don't believe these women's claims. We want to believe it. We just need the proof. Why is that so controversial?
And see, that's the annoying thing, bro. It really shouldn't be. It really shouldn't be controversial to just say, hey, look, listen, investigate. Let the man be. Let the woman be. Let the cops do their thing. Let them investigate. And then once it's investigated, whatever the facts are, put them out there. We're okay with that. That's what we need to stop doing. We need to stop being so, I'm on this side, so I automatically believe this, or I'm on this side, so I automatically believe that. That's the problem. It's nuance. It's impartiality. Everybody has picked their side, and it doesn't matter if I'm wrong. Doesn't matter if I'm right. I'm going to stick to my side. That's why this fucking society is going downhill. And with that, like, comment, hate, subscribe, DM us about the bullshit, and
until next time, get rest and stay blessed. We'll see you on the next one.